There are secrets beneath the Giza Plateau that stretch far beyond the known passages of the Great Pyramid, far beyond the mapped tunnels and chambers recorded by modern archaeology. Among these hidden truths lies one of the most forbidden discoveries ever whispered about in Egyptology: a sealed entrance, older than the pyramids themselves, carved with symbols no dynasty ever claimed. An entrance that appeared once in a forgotten survey, vanished from every official record, and was never acknowledged again. Researchers call it the Forgotten Gate Beneath Giza, a doorway erased from history the moment it was found. The story begins in 1932, when a French geophysical team conducted a deep scan survey around the Great Pyramid. Their instruments detected a rectangular void at a depth inconsistent with normal construction patterns. But what stunned them wasn't the void, it was the stone structure blocking it. A perfectly shaped gate made from a type of basalt not native to the Giza Plateau. The stone was smoother, denser, and darker than any limestone used in the pyramids. It bore engravings unlike hieroglyphs, more angular and geometric, and completely out of place in an Old Kingdom context. According to the notes recovered later, the gate was oriented directly toward the constellation Orionot as it appeared in 2500 BC. But as it appeared more than 10,000 years earlier, beneath the sand, the team uncovered what appeared to be a descending passage leading toward this ancient gate. They described the entrance as intentionally buried, as if someone had purposefully hidden it beneath layers of stone long after it was sealed. But before excavations could begin, all work was stopped by Egyptian authorities. The French team's equipment was confiscated, their notes taken, and they were escorted out of the country under the claim of geological disturbances. The project's documentation never appeared in official archives. The gate vanished from record immediately after discovery. Yet fragments of the story survived through private letters and recovered field notes, hinting at something extraordinary beneath Giza's, something older and more advanced than anything built by the Old Kingdom. Nearly 30 years later, in 1961, an American radar team mapped the subsurface of Giza using early ground-penetrating technology. Their scans revealed a passageway almost identical to the one found in 1932, running beneath the bedrock at an angle impossible for natural fractures. But when they submitted the findings, the report was quietly altered to remove the anomaly. A young assistant on the project claimed he saw the original sketches before they were edited. A long corridor sloping downward, ending in a massive stone obstruction shaped like a gate. The Forgotten Gate had been found again and suppressed again. For decades, the anomaly appeared in private research circles, but was ignored by mainstream Egyptology. Then, in 1997, something happened that forced scholars to confront the mystery once more. A team using high-frequency seismic imaging detected a rectangular chamber directly below the coordinates associated with the Forgotten Gate. The shape of the chamber was unnatural, too precise, too smooth, too symmetrical. Its dimensions did not match any known burial chamber, storage room, or architectural design of pharaonic Egypt. It was also located far below the water table depth of ancient Giza, meaning it must have been built in a period when the plateau was at a different elevation, long before the Sahara became a desert. At the chamber's northern edge was a dense vertical structure, possibly a sealed door. When thermal scans were performed, the structure emitted a subtle heat signature, like a solid object retaining warmth differently from the stone around it. This discovery reignited theories that the Forgotten Gate might lead to an underground complex older than dynastic Egypt, preserved in total secrecy. The style of the engravings described on the gate resembled symbols found in pre-dynastic sites in the Western desert symbols. believed by some to be remnants of a civilization wiped out by a global cataclysm thousands of years before Egypt's rise. Some researchers argued that the Forgotten Gate might be an entrance not to a tomb, but to a knowledge chamber repository sealed in antiquity to protect information from an earlier age. Others believed it could be connected to the legendary Hall of Records, a mythical archive said to contain the history of a vanished civilization predating Egypt. But the most compelling evidence came from a document declassified in 2008, a fragment of a British military intelligence report from the 1940s. During World War II, the British surveyed Giza using deep penetration explosives to map underground density. One diagram in the report showed a series of connected voids beneath the pyramid complex. At the center of the map was a symbol, a rectangle with 3 lines crossing at the same symbol sketched in notes from the 1932 French team. The Forgotten Gate had appeared once again, this time in a completely unrelated military survey. Someone had found it, someone had known about it, and someone had tried to erase its existence. The report included a handwritten annotation from a British officer. The lower entrance must never be excavated. Its contents are not for public release. This was the same phrasing used in other historical cases where discoveries were suppressed artifacts that challenged religious narratives, timelines, or political control. It became clear that the Forgotten Gate had been buried, not just physically, but historically hidden beneath layers of censorship from multiple nations and eras. But the greatest clue came from a discovery in 2010. An independent scan by a team of Japanese researchers revealed a long, straight cavity leading directly toward the anomaly noted in earlier surveys. Unlike natural cracks or tunnels, this cavity had perfectly linear walls and a smooth floor, suggesting intentional construction. The cavity terminated at what should have been bedrock, yet the scans indicated a hollow space beyond it, a blocked entrance, a sealed doorway, possibly the Forgotten Gate itself. The Japanese report was published briefly, then withdrawn within 48 hours. The researchers claimed it had been removed to prevent misinterpretation, but insiders say the team was pressured heavily by authorities. This consistent pattern discovery, suppression, erasure suggested that the Forgotten Gate hides something far more significant than a storage room, something Egypt was never meant to reveal. Theories intensified when researchers connected the gate's orientation to the ancient sky. Its alignment matched star positions from approximately 10,500 BC, a date tied to massive geological upheavals across the globe. This period marks the end of the last ice age, a time associated with rising seas, volcanic activity, and destruction of early coastal civilizations. If the Forgotten Gate was aligned to stars from that era, it might have been built before the pyramids, long before recorded history, possibly by a civilization that vanished in the aftermath of global catastrophe. Some suggested this civilization passed knowledge to early Egypt, kickstarting its sudden rise. Others argued the gate might guard a chamber containing relics from that forgotten age, sealed away to protect them from the chaos of the world above. The most controversial theory claims the Forgotten Gate leads to a chamber holding metallic object stores or devices from the pre-flood world. This idea comes from rare accounts describing metal that hums or stone that vibrates, artifacts mentioned in suppressed excavation notes. The heat signature detected beneath Giza supports this theory. Something beneath the bedrock retains heat unlike surrounding stone. A metal object, an energy source, or something else entirely. Whatever lies behind the Forgotten Gate was important enough to be buried deliberately, hidden under tons of stone and sand, and erased from all official documentation. Today, the Forgotten Gate remains sealed, No legal excavation has ever been permitted. The Egyptian authorities deny its existence, despite decades of independent scans pointing to the same anomaly. But the truth beneath Giza cannot remain hidden forever. The sands shift, technology improves, and history has a way of revealing itself at the moment humanity is ready to understand it. If the Forgotten Gate beneath Giza is ever opened, it may expose the oldest structure on Earth, a relic from a vanished civilization, or a chamber built by the first time the legendary Zeb Tepi, the Egyptians, spoke of. A time when gods, or those mistaken for gods, walked the earth. A time older than Egypt, older than recorded history, older than the world we think we know. The Forgotten Gate beneath Giza was never meant to be found, because what lies behind it may rewrite the origin story of civilization itself.